I am publishing my very first piano book called Piano Poetry. I am so excited about this project. I have been working on it for the last year, and I'm finally going to be releasing it soon, and I cannot wait to get this piano book into other musicians' hands so I can hear everyone playing these songs. This has been such a dream come true for me, something I never thought I could do, and I'm just so proud of all this work. So thankful and grateful for the ability to collaborate with my sister. I'm sure you're wondering what is included in this piano poetry book, and I'm just so glad that you asked. So in this book, you will find 15 different songs that I wrote. Each song is based on one of my sister's poems from her book, Hope Gives a Eulogy. My sister is an amazing writer. She has published 3 different poetry books. Her writing is just so beautiful, so emotional. And when I first read her book in 2021, I remember crying through a lot of it. But I also remember sitting back and thinking, I would love to see these poems brought to life through music. That was an initial thought that I never explored further, but I do remember thinking about it, and I remember continually over the next few years coming back to that thought of I would love to see these words translated into music and add the emotional depth behind it, which is what you can do with music. Fast forward a few years, this brings us to last summer. What started as this creative little experiment for me, I had never written music before. I never composed, but I do a lot of lead sheet training with my piano students. And so I am very good at playing from a lead sheet and creating arrangements with the said melody and chords. And so I was like, this is not that much different. I have to create the melody. I have to choose the chords that I want to use, and that's different. But as far as the arrangement goes, I can hear what sounds good and I can bring to life these words. So I recorded my first poem last summer. I just took the first poem from her book and I started working on a simple composition. And then I sent it to my sister and I said, hey, what do you think about this? This was really fun. This was good for me and I just enjoyed this. She loved it, which made me happy. And so I was like, I want to keep doing this. So I turned the page and I just kept going through her book, finding different poems and creating music based on those poems. That's where piano poetry started. Last fall is when I was like, I feel like I can turn this into something bigger. And so that is where the idea of creating a piano book came to life. And so for the last year, I have been pursuing turning all my compositions into music and compiling them all into a piano book so I can share them with other teachers, with other pianists, with other musicians out there, so they can also experience her words on a different emotional level. Piano poetry, like I said, takes 15 of our poems, technically 16. I combined 2 of them because they just felt like they needed to be played together. But it takes 15 different poems and it turns it into music. Most of them are written in lead sheet format because, like I said, my studio is built on lead sheet training because I'm so passionate about teaching my students how to play their favorite songs, and a lot of your favorite songs can be played from lead sheets. So a lot of it is written in lead sheet format. There are a few songs that are fully written out because I felt like my arrangement of the melody needed to be there. It felt very fitting for the piece. So flipping through here, you'll just see each of these songs. So we have chords above them. We have the words written in there, so you can basically be singing or reading along the poem as you're playing, so you can understand why I did what I did when I wrote this music. And then after you finish all the playing, you run into the section called Behind the Music and Poetry. And this part I was so excited about because I was able to really collaborate even further with my sister. And each poem, I did a little background deep dive into the behind the scenes, which is like my favorite part of anything. I love seeing behind the scenes of movies, of music, of albums, you name it. I like to see the stories and the reason why behind creators. And so each poem, you will have a section called From the Poet, and then you will have a section from the composer. And that is My sister has written just a few things, maybe some stories or some inspirations behind the poem that I wrote for, just a little bit of the history. And then I wrote a few things, a few of the reasons why I chose certain harmonies or certain chords or certain rhythms, spacing, whatever it might be. I wrote a little behind the scenes too. And at the end, I of course have a QR code because I want to link you to my initial playing. So I played through all of these and posted them on my social media at the very beginning, even before I knew I was going to turn this into something more. And so I have a YouTube playlist of all my original music written there. So that's what you can expect from inside this book. I really wanted this piano book to be accessible for a lot of musicians. And what I mean by that is I wanted a lot of different levels of abilities and talents to be able to play this music. This is not overcomplicated, advanced style writing, okay? This is kind of simplistic, and it's meant to be that way. This is my first time doing this, you know. I would not label myself as an amazing composer. I grew a lot through this process, and I learned a lot, and I think that I did a good job. I hope I did a good job. But I wanted this to be something that my own students could play from. If you're not a musician and you don't know how to play the piano, that's okay. Honestly, the second half of the book where you get to hear from my sister is just as good. And the fact that her poems are written into this book, you get to read her poetry, and that's beautiful. You can also listen to the playlist and follow along through the music. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways that you can enjoy this book. If you are a musician, I don't care. If you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever, this is for you too. Okay, that was my hope and dream. I just want this in the hands of people so they can experience the emotions that music can bring to words, and I am so excited to share that with you.